Hi, everyone. We'll just give everyone a moment to join in, and I'll also set up a couple of things. Just give us a couple of minutes, settle in, keep a cup of tea next to you. We're going to have interesting conversations today, so tea would go well. um, we'll just give Aditi a minute. In the meantime, I just want to quickly check in with everybody. Is everyone on Telegram already? Because we've got a bunch of interesting Q&As happening. We're going to be asking you to answer some questions, and that will happen on Telegram. Yeah, that's where you'll be able to answer the questions. That's where you'll be able to ask Aditi questions as well. So just to join the group, Zoom chat will be closed. Hi, Aditi. Aditi, would you say something? Then will just do a quick sound check. Can you hear me? Hi, Aditi. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Great. We'll do a quick sound check. Say something.
Hi.
Your favorite ice cream flavor?
My favorite ice cream flavor. It's chocolate chip mint.
Oh, that sounds good. All right. I hope everyone can hear us, and I hope we've got everyone craving chocolate chip mint ice cream already. Okay, just give us one more moment. I'm going to just open out all my screens. The Mystic Lotus team has been on back-to-back calls today, so we're just okay. I think we're just ask Shilpa, let me know when we are good to start, and we'll get going. In the meantime, I want to tell everyone, get your thinking caps on. We've got a quiz coming up to start the conversation today. All right. Okay, I think we should be good to go. Okay. I guess everyone can hear us. Should be be all right. All right. Okay. Hi, everyone. How you all doing? Um, we're starting our call today, as I said, with some really interesting questions. The first time I answered these, my own answers were so unexpected and revealing. I almost thought, that's not possible, is it? Well, we'll just launch the questions in a couple of minutes. But first, I'd like to introduce you all to this remarkable woman who is the author of these questions, as well as the killer program she calls Feminine Awakening and, and Feminine Awakening Codes. She's a passionate therapist, coach, facilitator in multiple modalities. She's been practicing for over 16 years and has personally triumphed over incredible life challenges. She's also an entrepreneur, artist, writer, and startup investor, and brings all those core elements of these diversified streams into her work. Aditi has undergone specialized training in feminine power facilitation under Dr. Claire Zammit and Dr. Jean Houston, Marianne Williamson, and many other renowned powerful women. Aditi, a big welcome on your debut on the Mystic Lotus Masterclasses. I'm sure we're all in for loads and loads of aha moments today.
Thank you so much for inviting me here. I'm so glad to be doing this. I can almost hear like a stadium cheer going on in my head while you ran that introduction. It seemed really awesome.
You're
Thank you.
awesome. I mean, we had a short program with Aditi before the long break that we had between this masterclass, um, and it's incredible to go through even that little. I think it was 7 days, right?
8 days, but we had about 4 classes.
Yeah.
We had,
And
yeah.
just through that, the kind of things that came up, the realizations, like I say, the aha moments that kind of change how you thought your life was and where your life was going and how it could go actually and how it is in reality. So okay, without spinning more curiosity, let's dive in with the polls. Okay, I'm going to launch the first poll. So you're going to see two questions on the Zoom poll, and you can just answer them there. We have more questions coming up later, and this is going to be a super interactive call. So those questions you can answer on Telegram. All right. Okay. So we're talking, the overall topic is courage. And the first question in that is, how much do you trust your own judgment and act on your own awareness without worrying what others will think? I can see some votes are coming in already. And the second question is, how clearly and confidently do you express your thoughts, feelings, needs, desires, ideas, and vision to others? The second one, like, tripped me when I answered it the first time round. Aditi, shall we discuss the results as the results come? That might be
Yeah.
good.
I think one interesting thing I'd like to actually share with people is please remember that on the scale, number one means very low, and number five is where you're at the highest. So if you've polled already, that's cool. If you haven't, just remember this. All right, this is awesome. Okay, so I'm getting for the first question, there are a lot of people who are kind of, more people are fence sitters. They're
You
like, yeah,
please.
yeah, it's like sometimes yes, sometimes no.
But isn't that real life as well? That sometimes we do and sometimes we kind of don't get around it
Absolutely.
or we compromise.
Absolutely. Yeah. But when I think when it comes to the topic of trusting your own judgment and acting on your own awareness without listening to others, it's also where you are now adulting more than being a child.
It's something that a lot of us avoid
Yes.
as far as
You
possible.
know, yeah, because it's so easy to take advice from others. It's available, it's free, it's there all the time, and you don't have to take responsibility if things go wrong. You know, someone else can always be blamed. It's so easy to blame someone else. And even if you don't express it, it just in your head, it's so easy to do that. But being aware of your own space and trusting yourself, I think requires a lot more wisdom and you know, knowing who you are. And that's, we'll talk a lot more about that.
So I'm going to end this poll. We're going to see
Yeah.
the results. I think half of the people have already voted. So
Yeah. The second one is very interesting.
I'll just share the results.
Mm,
So the highest percentage was number four that
mm,
people thought. So that's at 35%.
mm. And the second one is how clearly and confidently do you express your thoughts, feelings, needs, desires, ideas, and vision to others? Huh.
There's a nice mix, I think, here, right?
Yeah, it is interesting. Cool. I'd actually like to talk to the people who have voted a 4 and a 5 here at some point.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yep.
it would be really interesting to know what it is that they do that, you know, helps them to do this.
Okay. So why don't I say, so we'll bring them up at the end of the polls.
Yeah, we'll do that.
In the meantime, just those of you who said, you said you asked about five, right? Four
Mm-hmm.
and five.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So those of you who voted four and five, do put in your name in the Telegram group, and we'll call a few of you up so we can chat properly.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to stop sharing this one, and we'll go to the next one. This is life purpose. And the question is, how aware and connected are you to your unique gifts, talents, and abilities? Yeah.
Yeah, the operative word being unique, that which is different and special about you, that creates you as different from the others.
And number two, of course, the votes have started coming in. Are you able to use or express these gifts, talents, and abilities with the world in a way that creates a transformative impact?
This is so exciting to watch this.
Live polling.
Yeah,
It's always good to like. I think okay, we're going towards ones. Oh no, we're going towards
I
four.
know, right? You never know which way it's going to actually finally be at.
We'll just give everyone a couple of more minutes.
Yeah.
In the meantime, one of our listeners has put in Telegram um, that he listens to the gut most times. Trust that inner voice.
Sorry, he listens to the what?
Gut most times.
Ah, damn, you already know it.
That's good. Okay, shall we?
Yeah, let's dive in.
Think.
Okay, so the number threes are at the maximum with 37% in the first one. And I'm really glad about that because, you know, this is something which a lot of people walk through their entire life absolutely not knowing. I still meet a lot of people who are supposedly very talented and who have created empires, but their actual special abilities lie somewhere else entirely. Yeah, so this should be interesting. And the second one, the first. So there you go. You know, that's where this is. This is exactly why we are here today, so that you can use what you have and go out there in the world and express it. Because around 25% people of you, 25% of the population seems to be at not being able to express these gifts and talents because you know, it could be I don't know how to do it, I don't know where to start, I don't know how do I perhaps make money from it, what do I create from it. There can be a zillion questions that can emerge from this one. Awesome.
All right. So I'm going to stop sharing these, and we'll move to the next one. Next is relationships. So if you're in a relationship, how safe, seen, heard, valued, and supported do you feel by your partner? to become the best version of yourself and create your greatest life? That's the first question. How, if you're in a relationship, then how safe, seen, heard, and valued and supported do you feel? And if you're looking to create a relationship, how clear and confident are you in envisioning the kind of relationship you'd like to create that can support both your journey, growth, evolution, and connection to self? That second one is a really loaded question, Aditi. That's
Yeah.
really tough, I
Yeah.
think,
I'm,
to.
I'm almost rubbing my hands in glee.
That's a really tough question to answer.
Mm.
Okay, there's lots of fours over there. That's
Mm.
fantastic.
Yeah,
We've got an enlightened audience.
I know.
Enlightened and empowered. How
Yeah, yeah,
fantastic will it be when they get more empowered?
absolutely. That makes my work even more fun. Hmm. Come on, I'd like to see some more people coming in. I
Okay,
don't
we'll
think
be
we are
closing the poll
full.
soon, so get
Yeah,
in your votes quickly. Don't think so much.
yeah. In fact, the more you think, there's more likelihood of giving the wrong answer. You've got to come
Really?
with the one. Yeah, the first one usually is awareness. And then after that, the mind kicks in. The mind moves a lot slower than your awareness. Your awareness is lightning quick. So it's always the first thing that comes.
Okay, I'm going to end the poll soon. So let's take a look.
Hmm. Okay.
All
The
right.
first one is kind of what I expected. Huh. That's interesting. It's actually the reverse of what usually happens.
Really?
Yeah. All right. Should we move to the next?
Yeah. And this is the last one that we'll be doing now.
Yeah.
This is abundance. And the question is, how abundant do you feel? Do you have all the financial resources you need to thrive with no sense of lack? Second question is, how energized are you about being financially free, wealthy, and prosperous? I'm mega energized. I'm at like 5. I want to go ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching all day long. My doc told me yesterday, she was calling from the US, and she said, "So, how are you doing? You're visiting your mom." So I said, "Yeah, doc, but I'm also working all through." So she's like, "You tell me when you're not working,
Mm.
because in my mind, you're always working."
It's amazing that that's a question I get from everybody I know. When you really, really are in love with your work, it's not separate from you.
Yeah, true. True. And I think that many of us just grew up with this concept that if you're not being productive, you're wasting time. And you're wasting yourself.
Yes.
So, all right. Okay, so we'll take a look. A lot more people answering this
Hmm.
question for sure
Yeah.
than the previous one.
I'm just wondering what got everybody to get their fingers jumpy with this one. Okay.
Money.
I know.
Money is always interesting to talk about.
Yeah. Huh. Okay.
Vanessa Redgrave once said this in a film that boys come and go, but work is what stays with you always.
I agree with her. I agree with her. The best relationship you can have is you and then is with your work because it never lets you down.
Yeah,
It doesn't dump you and walk away. You don't have to deal with emotional stuff. It's very straightforward. What you put in is what you get.
that's true. Okay, we'll end this poll.
Awesome.
We've got a really good lot of people
Yeah.
who've this.
Okay. So abundance is a little bit tricky with everybody because I think people at this point of time, also in the past, maybe a year and a half or two, this feeling of abundance has also been on a bit of a shaky ground for most people. I myself have gone through this phase and I understand what that's like. And then, how energized are you about being financially free, wealthy, and prosperous? Okay, why are more people not excited about being more financially free? Any reason? I definitely like to know this. I would have expected a lot more of the number fives in this one. Okay, that's interesting.
Is it so? Share with us on Telegram. We'd
Yeah.
love to hear that. Why you feel that you're not so energized about being financially free, and to let us know if you misunderstood the question
Yeah.
as well. All right,
Yeah.
I'm going to stop sharing my the poll. This has been really exciting. I think you wanted to talk to a couple of people who had said 4 and 5 in the first poll.
Yeah. I'd like to know those who voted very low about being courageous. And then those who I'd like to speak to a couple of people who voted very high on being courageous.
Okay, so this was courage,
Yeah.
and there was 18% who said 4,
Mm.
and there was about 8% to 12%. Oh no, 35% who said 4,
Mm.
and 8% and 12% who said ones and twos. So do share on the Telegram group, and we'll just call you on. Let me just open out. Okay. All right. So on courage, Nilima says, I trust my intuition. Rani's answer was 2.
Mm. Okay.
Sunita
So,
said 4. So shall we take on Rani and Sunita? They're the kind of two ends of the spectrum. So Sunita was at 4 and Rani was at 2.
okay, cool.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Sunita, Rani, do you have the same name on Zoom? Yeah, I found Sunita.
Okay.
Hi, Sunita.
Is she good to come on?
I've put in a request to unmute you. Okay,
Hello.
there we go.
Hi.
Hi.
Yes,
Hi, Aditi.
I know you, Sunita. Now, so of
Yeah.
course I know you.
Yeah, yeah. How are you?
I'm great. Good to see you.
Thank you. Thank you. Good to see you here.
So tell
Yeah.
me, why did you vote what you voted?
Because I think I am stuck somewhere.
Okay.
So I gave somewhere. I'm not reaching to my ultimate potential.
Mm.
Though I'm free with everything, but there is little more left. So I rated 4.
Okay. Can you give me a little bit of clarity or maybe be a little more specific about, if I ask you the question, exactly which area do you find yourself not having courage in right now? What would it be? Just at the top of your head. Don't think too much.
Courage to be more successful.
Awesome. Okay. And what is it that you think stops you from doing it? Do you fear something or you're just lazy about it?
Lazy about it.
Okay. All right.
No fear.
So is wanting to be successful or being successful not exciting enough for you to get there?
Mhm.
Okay. All right. It would be also interesting to know what your definition of success really is, Sunita, because when I ask people that question, I more often than not find that they are already successful.
Success means you are reaching to your ultimate potential. You very well know your potential. You are
Mm,
capable of doing little more, more, lot more, but you are restricting yourself due to laziness or some subconscious programming, whatever is holding on to you.
mm,
Wherever you don't want to be seen by people or become more famous,
yes.
and by becoming famous, you lose your identity, your freedom. That all those things.
Wow. Those are some very, very interesting judgments about what success
Judgments,
means.
yes. Holding with all
I'm just
judgments.
wondering how much of an influence and impact and inspiration you're withholding from people by being yourself out there.
Yes.
How many more people can you actually inspire to be themselves
Mhm.
because you chose it to?
Yes.
Cool, great. Thank you for the feedback. I hope you
Thank
enjoy the masterclass today. I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
you'll find a
yeah.
lot of fun stuff.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Sunita.
Thanks, Sunita. We'll
Hi.
just take on Rani.
Yes.
I'm going to check Ronnie, I'm not seeing your name as is on Zoom. Do you have a different name on Zoom? I'm not sure. Jaspreet also says that on courage, I said 4 for both questions, actually. So let's
Let's check with her if she's there.
Jaspreet, are you on Zoom with a different name? Let's check. No, I'm not. There you're, Jazz. I can see you.
Hi, Ruchira. How are you?
Hi, Jaspreet. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you.
So fantastic. You selected 4 on
Yeah.
both those questions.
Let us know your secret.
So I've worked a lot on myself. I'm a healer myself, and I went through some stuff which led me to my life calling. And I worked on myself. Then only I started healing others. And I still feel some bit is left. That's why I didn't say 5. So somewhere that small bit of courage lack is there. But yeah, working on it.
That's fantastic. That's
Yeah.
really great, Jasmine. Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you so much for the poll. It gave us an insight.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jaspreet.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Okay. We've so Ronnie's just shared. Ronnie, let me see. Ronnie Sharma. Ronnie, I still can't see you on the participants. Okay. Well, I want to just ask the team in case they can see Ronnie Sharma on the participants list and unmute her. It's not coming up for me.
That's fine.
All right, let's, Ronnie will come back and chat with you in a bit. Let's go on. So as the structure of your program, etc., is based on these 8 core areas, right?
Yes.
Some of these are the ones that we answered questions on the poll just now.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about why these 8 core areas are the pillars.
Okay. So before I dive into that, I hope most of you are aware that this program is specifically targeted for women. And if we have men here, they are most welcome. And you absolutely can also understand that when I talk about these 8 areas, I've also found that men struggle with them as well, but they don't have to cut through so much as women have to cut through. So these 8 areas are courage, well-being or health, life purpose, relationships, awakening, creativity, abundance, and success. Now, these 8 areas are what they are because women most judge themselves. They feel a sense of deep frustration and they can feel stuck in with these 8 areas. And it could be either all of them or just some of them. But they're also the areas where women have the most potential to be able to ignite a path for themselves where they can be supremely successful and they can literally go to places, they can take over the world. And when you are fully aligned and in a very powerful place, you're coming in from your highest feminine wisdom, you can actually master all 8 areas with total ease simply because these 8 areas are no longer separate from each other. They become a part of who you are already being. um, so these are 8 areas where women have the potential to self-actualize and to fully awaken, which is why we take these 8 areas.
So I think I'm going to dial back a little bit and ask you,
Yeah.
where should, what are what is the life stage I should be at? What am I struggling with that would get, that gets worked upon when I work on these 8 areas?
Okay. So you will not be able to identify all 8 areas till you've actually started stepping into each one
Okay.
in your life. So obviously you have to be somebody, I would say, who is in her 30s at least, and has faced hitting concrete wall in these 8 areas, who has tried over a period of few years and struggled against odds, then not made success, and is still struggling to find herself and how she fits into that place. So, for example, let's take success. A woman's definition of success when she's 20 is very different from what it is when she's 30 and then when she's in her 40s or 50s. And most women, most women who are in their 40s, for example, don't realize that their definition of success has changed in the last 2 decades because they haven't met who they are today. They still feel, oh, I'm still that 20-year-old in my head who wants this X, Y, and Z, which means it is successful. But what she doesn't realize is that she's reached a place in her life where a lot of her talents and gifts have already come up to surface. Thanks to the life experiences that she's gone through, all these are sticking out like precious stones and she can't see them. So my job is to get you to write it on a piece of paper. Hey, what are your gemstones that are sticking out? Let's take a look at them. And then let's take a look at what jewelry we can create out of these and show it to the world. So that's how we work with it. So I'd say that you need to have a certain amount of experience, probably in your 30s or 40s, and even in your 50s. I mean, there is no age group that I'm going to say, oh, you can't do this. Of course you can. Yeah. As long as you are motivated from within, have a deep desire from within to fully awaken to who you are. That's all we need.
So the reason why I was nodding and smiling when you talked about success and definition of success, and I'd like to actually ask our audience to put in the Telegram group, what do they think would define success for them? What is it that they're looking for? Because I remember, Aditi, when you asked us this question in that in the short program, it's true. A lot of us had put in answers or definitions, or what we thought was successful was something that we thought was success a long time ago, but we'd actually moved past that point.
Yes.
So we'd love to hear. So on the Telegram group, as we'll continue the conversation here, but do share on the Telegram group, and I will share with Aditi what you've put in there as your definitions of success. So Aditi, tell us a little bit more about the first 3 core areas. You speak about courage.
Yeah. So actually, since we started the poll with courage as well, let's just start with courage.
Okay.
Courage mostly occurs as a stumbling block for most women, simply because they feel they have tremendous amount of responsibility. Especially for women in 30s, 40s, and 50s. They're mostly married. They have children. They have to manage homes, in-laws, relatives, friends, society, their own work. There's like a whole buffet of things that they're supposed to attend to on a regular basis. And what tends to happen is they have these desires that they walk into these lives with. And those don't get a chance to get expressed when you are running around ticking off your responsibility list. So what tends to happen is that after a certain point of time, since they don't have the opportunity, they don't express it, they don't even probably realize it. It kind of gets snowed under and buried under with everything else. And they then lose courage to ever speak about it again. So imagine having lots of gifts and talents. You've been married for 20 years and you've never looked at those gifts and talents. And, somewhere someone met you and you showed them your photographs. And they said, oh my God, you photograph so well. Why haven't you taken photography? Why don't you pursue it? Oh, it's okay. I did it in my 20s. It's not a big deal. It's something, it's just something. But no, it's not something. You're really talented. So the woman doesn't have the courage to say, hey, I could actually be good at this. Why don't I give it a try? She doesn't have the time. She has too many responsibilities. So she prefers to play small. And courage is where you are having the willingness to play big. Doesn't mean that you don't take on these responsibilities. You absolutely do them, but you also find the time to pursue what you are great at and go out there into the world and express it. And that is where courage comes in. So when we look at the Courage Masterclass, we are looking at where are you feeling incapable? Where are you feeling lack of confidence in who you are and what you're here to do in the world? And this class can help you to transition from where you are right now to going out and actually creating it. The key to that is courage. Courage is the faith and belief in your own inner resources. And I help you tap that.
That's incredible. So, I think while you were talking, a whole bunch of responses have come in. So,
Okay.
Shilpa says, success is when all these areas of my life are aligned and congruent and creation happens. There's some really, really beautiful definitions of success here. Asha says, success means what you love to do for yourself.
Lovely.
Sunita says, for me, it's being joyfully accomplishing my dreams and not regretting anything.
Nice. Nice.
Jaspreet has shared success is being happy and excited to work, having wealth and abundance, good health and harmony in relationships, and being able to bring that improvement in others as well. Pooja says, success for me is able to express my highest potential and manifest the life that I truly deserve. We've got some really, really nice ones.
Lovely.
Minnie says, I'm a lady in my early 50s and I think she means life has taught me that leading an integrated life to serve humanity to whatever extent is possible until my death is what I'm looking for. I do have courage. However, I do have laziness in me. Wish there was a medicine to remove it from my system. Minnie, I totally resonate with that. I wish that as well.
I could actually give you a very nice tip for the lazy part of you. The days you're feeling lazy, just go into self care. That's the way
Okay.
you use a lazy day.
That sounds very good. That sounds very good.
But
All
these are
right.
beautiful. I would have loved to make a tiny book compilation of just definitions of success from women all over the world.
And I want to thank everyone for sharing such beautiful thoughts around success. We do post such things on social media, and we'd love to give you credit and use your definitions. So after this call, follow us on Instagram, follow us on Facebook, and look out for your
Mm,
definition of success.
awesome.
Okay, so Adi, you spoke about courage. Tell us a little bit about what would be the second pillar that you would think would be a core area when you're starting your journey.
So I think one of the biggest ones that most women battle with as soon as they finish their education is kind of, what am I here to do? Other than fulfill 1,000 duties, which are more familial, but what is it that I can do which is for me? And I know of so many women who have spent 10, 15, 20, 30 years just still trying to answer that question. Yeah. And in the interim time, what has happened? They've found jobs or businesses that they are passionate about, but that needn't necessarily be their life purpose.
Okay.
So the next big area is life purpose. So, for example, if somebody asked me, what is my life purpose? I don't define my businesses. I tell them my life purpose is here to awaken other women's potential. That's my life purpose, period. Just that much line. And I realized that many, many years ago, and I started working towards it. And it took time to get here, but here, I'm here. And meanwhile, I still ended up doing 10,000 other things on the way. I mean, you just rattled off my bio at the beginning of this. So many finger, many pies, multi passionate, and all of that. So I still do that. But this is my life purpose simply because I cannot imagine my life without doing this. Yeah. And I would do it waking, sleeping, drinking, eating. I would still continue to do this. Even when I'm off duty, in the sense I'm not working, I'm still doing it for friends and family. Yeah. So it's what drives me. So that is life purpose. Life purpose, where it comes down very simple to that one line. What is it that you're here to do? And we're going to find that out in the masterclass.
It's fantastic. All right. um, I want to read out something, in fact, because you're talking about life purpose. In the mini program, that we did. One of the participants, Sumati, she's shared a beautiful note, and I just want to share what she wrote. Um, she says there's still a lot of work that she still has to do with the worksheets, and that's me as well. I still have to complete quite a few of those worksheets, but she says it has been super emotional, and I know without a doubt that I'm not leading my authentic life, and I'm mired with old stories in every aspect of life. And knowing it and acknowledging it are two different things. And the sessions with you, that mini workshop that we did with you, Aditi, she says, they made me acknowledge that, which also means that it led me to feeling initially really low and angry and disappointment. But I know I need to look deeper within myself and uncover that purpose. And how can I, how can that get tied in with my livelihood? It's a long, long road ahead. And she says, I feel, I'm at the starting line. But what that session made me realize is that I can reach out for help in getting to that line and beyond.
Wow, I've got goosebumps. That's awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much, Sumati. Thank you.
She couldn't, I think she was unable to join today's call, but she said, do share this with Aditi and do share it with everyone else. So, and I know from like my own experience, I think one of the biggest things that worked, that I think realized during that program is that I don't give myself enough credit half the time.
Welcome to being a
Uh,
woman.
and I don't know about everyone else in the audience here, but when you've been working in when you've been working, and no matter what profession you're in, you tend to over the years become quite masculine. Yeah, I really feel like I'm 44 and I think I'm a man now. Because I'm taking care of myself, I'm taking care, and the more you take on your family responsibilities, the more responsibility you take on of yourself as well, you start to think and you start to kind of behave like a like a man of the house. You're from putting up the curtains to fixing the plumbing to from menial things like that to financial planning, for example. That's something that you always thought was the man's domain in the family. That's not something that you automatically think is a woman's domain.
True.
And you have to do that. And you have to, and what I realized is that you can do it from using your feminine energies. It's
Absolutely.
not like you have to lose your feminine energies. You can actually, you have an energy asset, I think, that you're not using.
Yes.
It's like how we all women save gold and jewelry, and they put their. It's like a little portly of gold that you haven't used. You're working on the FDs and the RDs and
Very
things
true.
like that.
It's very interesting that you say this. It's simply, you know what, we've grown up in a bastion of men. It's just a very masculine world. And at no point of time in my journey am I ever going to be doing any masculine bashing. I very
Yeah, yeah,
appreciate masculine energy and I myself step into it when the need be. But I prefer coming from a feeling, emotion flowing, feminine, creative space, which is based more on wisdom and patience, and being in an awareness and having a stillness and having peace. Because those are qualities that can actually take you very, very far.
yeah,
Yeah. And it's not just restricted to women. The beauty is that feminine energy is available for men too.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And
And like,
there are so many men that I know have such amazingly beautiful feminine qualities that I have learned stuff from. you know, and I tell them, it's like, you have no idea how beautifully feminine you are in this particular area. And they're not sure whether it's a compliment because they still have to get comfortable with their feminine side.
True.
You know, so this class is really about that. This is about awakening that within you, which is why I said at the start of the class, I mean, women are most welcome and men are welcome too. You know, if you're willing to walk the journey with other women, you're welcome with open arms.
We have a listener who's put in here in the comments on Telegram. Um, their ID says "be mystical," so I don't know if they're a woman or a man, but they're asking why demarcate whose domain it should be.
Oh, I agree with that. Unfortunately, it's not a utopian world that we live in yet. You know, I would love to be in that place, but I also come from a point of view that you have to recognize what is.
Hmm. True, true. I also want to invite someone else who was in the class with me in the workshop. So, and I'd love to have her share her experience as well. Let me just look for Yukta if she's here. I'm just going to check. Yeah. Hi, Yukta. I've just put in a.
Hanji, good evening. Great to be with everyone here.
Hi, Yukta.
Yukta, do share. So you and I were in the same program, and I'd love to hear from you what your experience was. Yukta, your sound is getting broken.
Yeah.
Do this poll result, I was wondering. Wow, they have figured out. So what I love, I want to see audio is not so a little choppy. Settle maybe.
It's better now.
Hanji, agar abhi sunai de raha now. Okay. There's a little delay, but very little. Okay, good, great. So I did want to say at the outset that for me, having been a public figure, I've reached a point where I find myself resonating with very few women who have evolved to a point of where they've seen it, they've been there, they've done it all, and they've also gone through their own personal challenges. And for me to be able to trust opening up to someone, my own sensitivities and vulnerabilities takes a lot. So for me, having also known Aditi for so long, however, we've crossed, our journeys have crossed where, you know, we've shared a lot about our personal lives, and as mothers, I think we relate to each other. And the way I've begun to really see how Aditi has grown.
Yukta, we are losing you, honey. Can't hear you.
Inspiration for me, a grown woman earlier.
Yukta, we missed out a few things.
We missed out some really nice things you had to say about me. I'm sorry, can you repeat that, please? Is she there?
Yeah, she is.
Okay.
She might be just fixing her audio.
Yeah.
I just want to share with everyone. Yukta is a remarkable woman. This is Yukta Mukhi. She's had such an amazing career as well, and you would. It's amazing how she can. She can share so much about her. Usually, people who lead such private lives are quite who lead such public lives are quite private, and Yukta's amazing. That's to me, that's courage to, you know, to open yourself up like that to people. That's a mark of courage.
So she's raised
Yukta,
her
can you
hand.
hear us now?
I can hear you guys very clearly. I just want to know if it's possible to enable the chat. So just in case I'm saying something in the flow and the network goes off again, then I can happily put the
We
rest
can
of
hear
it
you
in
clearly
chat.
right now.
Yeah, you're very
Go
clear.
ahead.
Super, super. I'm going to stay put. So for me, what was wonderful was the way that Aditi led the whole thing. You know, she first created a very wonderful sacred space, which is very important. You know, I feel when I feel safe is when I can open up and I can start looking at my own, whatever we want to call it, shadows, limitations, and then, you know, really address them, want to work through them. It's also huge. I think today where I see women going, and I see the need of the hour is really women coming together in sisterhood, and as I said, creating that circle where we can feel that my hand is being held by the sister next to me, and I'm holding the hand of the sister next to me as well. So that for me is very crucial and very important, and Aditi does it very masterfully, very skillfully. I like the command and the tone in her voice and the warmth as well that she shares with us. For me, what works is bringing in humor, which she's brilliant at. So yeah, there's a ton of things, and of course, it was structured so well, which also says a lot about how much she has actually done the work. So she owns exactly what she's making us go through. There's no hard pressure on having to deliver the worksheets. I feel I need a little more time in being able to, work through some of the stuff, and that's perfectly okay because it's a journey. We're in a process. It's not, we can't say, okay, I've reached it, I've done it all, and ho gaya, class exam over. So yeah, I think for me personally, Aditi's own inner sort of energy, her essence, her skillfulness at being able to see where the other person is and using the kind of words and very gracefully, very um, beautifully sort of, leading a woman to see where she needs to put her attention and guiding her forth and saying, okay, this is how we navigate our compass over here, darling. This is not where I need you to look at. And as I was saying earlier, humor is a very big, important ingredient, which, Aditi has loads of. So when it kind of can tend to get a bit, uh, when you can feel on slippery ground is when she'll bring in humor and you say, okay, it's fine to laugh about it. And it's fine to sort of, it's easy. I can handle this. This is doable. So I'm looking forward to, in fact, being very I'm looking forward to being personally coached by her as well at some point. We've been talking about it for a while. And I think I'm at a journey where I also want to, reinvent myself, for lack of a better term. I think it's overrated to say that, but yeah, rebirth or reinvent or redo or recalibrate, whatever it has to be. And I feel it's an honor to have, it's been going to be an honor and a pleasure to work with Aditi. Yeah.
Thanks so much, Yukta. Thanks.
Thank you.
So much
Thank
for
you,
that.
Richard. Thank you, darling. Thank you for being you and shining your light upon the world.
And Aditi, in the meantime, Shilpa's also put in the chat that thank you, Yukta, for sharing this about Aditi. I have similar experiences with her. Love the way she calls me honey. Sending you a warm hug.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
That's true. So thanks, actually, Yukta, for pointing that out, because when you talk about abundance, when you talk about some of the other core areas, which otherwise seem very intense and seem very, difficult to navigate, but I think you make the process so much more interactive, so much more led by like small steps that lead to revelations and that open up the path, understanding all of that. Tell us a little bit about how you do this. I know you have a process. So tell us a little bit about how you do
You're
this.
going to make me give away all my secrets today. All right. See, I think the basic thing is it comes from my own experience, Ruchira. I'm someone who's an extremely keen observer of human nature. I'm someone who can sit in a whole crowd and I love seeing people. I love seeing what's going on. I love observing. And I'm not making any judgments in my head about what's going on. It's just simply taking notes, and that scares a lot of people, but it's fun for me. So what I notice is very often is when we are met with very difficult situations in our life, you know, as it is the gravity of that situation is enough to drain us out. Yeah. The last thing that we need is someone pushing us to get through it. I know what I feel like when I've been hurried by people in my evolution. I know what it feels like when I'm faced with a difficult situation to be told that, oh, you can't sit around feeling your emotions, you better man up, or you better pull up your socks and get moving. And I've not very much appreciated it because it didn't feel supportive. So for me, the constant question had to be that there has to be a better way. So when I understand, all the parts of my programs, whatever programs I've done till now and whatever I will do in the future, all come from my own personal experience. Because if I don't put myself in it, I cannot connect to anybody who enrolls. I will have no idea what she is going through in her life. And if I can't connect with her, how in blazes am I going to be fulfilling my life purpose of helping and supporting the woman? So, keeping my life purpose in mind and my intention to support, I try to break it down as much as I can. Taking baby steps, taking small bites means it is now digestible for you. It also means that I'm not standing here to grade you with an A or a B. Take your time. Simply because when I put myself in your shoes, I know I would love that. And that is the feminine energy. That is the way to be. That is when you start to embody what it truly means to awaken to be a feminine. So I don't really have like a structured process. I feel my way through things. Yeah. It's no big secret. Trust me. It's just a question of being totally in an empath's shoes and feeling what the other person is feeling and helping them take it one by one so that the journey that seems difficult now just became easy.
So tell me, the other areas, the other core areas that you talk about. And I just want to share with everyone that we've got a really interesting group exercise that we're going to do that Aditi is going to take you all through in a few minutes. But I just want to quickly understand
Yeah.
what are the balance five core areas and how does that how have you found in your experience working on that has what has that shifted for people?
Okay. So we've already discussed a couple of them. So the next one would be the abundance masterclass. And abundance, again, like success, is everyone has a different definition. Most people associate abundance with money, wealth, saving, cash flows, investment, all of that. And I do all of that stuff too. But abundance actually is the opposite of having poverty consciousness, where you are not thinking of anything in terms of lack anymore, that you do have faith that the next meal will come. You do have faith that the next month's income will come. There is a faith and a trust in who you are that you live with. There is a faith and trust in the way the universe works to support you that you live with. And that is actually what abundance means. Then, as a result of feeling and being abundant, you can then have anything come your way, whether it's money, it's opportunity, connections, people, collaborations, all of it is included in abundance. So, how do you get to from a place where you're constantly feeling a sense of lack or a nagging sensation of lack? And how do you transition from there to go to this place where you are feeling pretty much internally abundant? Or if you have days when you don't, you know how to bring yourself back to it. So that's the next class. And
And so there's a tool or a method that you would teach them to
yes,
use.
yes,
Bring that up.
yes. So I first get them to recognize where they are and then where they'd like to go. And then how do you bridge that? How do you bridge that gap and you get to where you want to go? So each of the classes has very simple worksheets and tools that you can do. There are life hacks. There's a wealth of information that is there for you, and there are loads of examples that will be discussed. So it'll become really easy for anyone to do this.
Could you share an example? I think could you share one of those examples with us?
I can give you a case of actually a client of mine very recently who actually, for a period of 6 months, went through each of these phases with me, each of the 8 pillars in that sense.
Mhm.
So this is a lady who lives in San Diego. Unfortunately, she couldn't make it on the call today, but she said, please feel free to share what I have been through. So she is known as an empty nester, meaning her only daughter left for university.
Uh-huh.
And she herself is a architect by profession, but she gave it all up to take care of her daughter, to take care of the house, to take care of her husband. And since they lived in the United States, everyone knows that you have to do everything on your own over there. There are no maid servants, etc. So there was a lot more that she was dealing with. And then for a period of about 25 years, she put aside everything that she loved and she only focused on all of this. So she had a case of serious self neglect. By the time the daughter left the home, she didn't know who she was anymore. She thought that she has depression, she felt very anxious. So that was a lot of things that she was battling, and she started taking it out on her body. So she felt fat. She looked at herself in the mirror, she tried diets, and she thought it was a problem with her willpower. So when we did all of these sessions, we understood that she had lost connection with the deepest yearnings, her deepest desires that she hadn't paid attention for so many years. And the fact is that if you do not use your creative energy, you can actually end up feeling very anxious or very depressed or both. So we had to start putting in place very simple things that she could start doing, and she started coming out of it gradually. So after a period of about 6 months of going through all of these sessions, she is now an expert in self-care. She has reshaped her body. Her relationship with her husband has shifted. She now communicates and voices exactly what her needs are to him. And now suddenly, after all these years of marriage, she's become extremely attractive to him. So he takes her on dates, and they went to Greenland for a vacation, and she is thrilled. And she has a very sweet little vegan baking business that she does from farmers markets
Oh,
in
how
San
wonderful.
Diego, and she's thrilled about it. And that's it. That's all I need. In fact, after a certain point, I told her, "You don't need coaching anymore, so stop calling me. You're done. You're there. Go inspire other women."
How wonderful. And that's such a lovely, that's right. That's a very inspiring story.
Yeah,
That's wonderful.
she's amazing. So I'm really proud of her.
So I want to actually call on before we go into the group exercise, because that's going to take us a little bit of time. I want to call on Anita. If Anita, just let me check if Anita's on. We have so many people today who wanted to share their experience with you. There's Anita. Anita, I've put in a request to unmute you.
Yeah, I'm here.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. Hi, Aditi.
How's the business going?
It's going great.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Anita, do share with us what were the shifts that you experienced? What were the revelations that came up for you?
Okay. So when I came in to do this course, my first question was, how will a week of this change anything in my life? I don't think, years of any course makes that much of a difference. So, but then I got into it to see what it was all about. Day one of the session, and there was talks about some old story and new story, and conversations around those. And I was just taking it all in. I was just wondering what this all was. And then we went to day two, and there we spoke about our gifts and what am I best at, and our qualities and our story and things like that. And still, I was a quiet listener. I was just understanding, and then I started doing the worksheets a little by little. And when I started doing the worksheets, something changed. I mean, when I started after day two, I became a little restless. I didn't understand what happened with me. I didn't know what happened. I got angry. I went quiet. I cried. It was like a whole burst of emotions for those 2 or 3 days. The day 2 and day 3, the gap, something changed it within me, and I had no idea why. I mean, the questions that were there in the questionnaire were all normal questions, simple things that anyone could ask you, but something changed in me. And then we went to day 3, and day 3 there were questions about your emotional and practical and professional support, and who is the person who you go to and things like that. And that's the day I saw the relationship with my husband evolve. We thought we were always pulled apart, and we didn't have any common ground and things like that. But the questionnaire actually made me realize that his name was coming up frequently in the questions that I was getting answered. And then I was surprised at the way I was answering the questions. And I was thinking, wow, I'm doing so well at the questionnaire. I'm answering my own questions. I'm answering my own life problems. That was great. And then when I went to day 4, that was a full blown transformation for me. I mean, the core areas, the 8 core areas that we spoke about, I got a lot of clarity. I understood a lot of things. And then I understood where I was going wrong. It was all making sense to me at that time. And then there was this person who was silently observing and helping and nudging gently and guiding me, guiding everyone around us. So that was Aditi, where I was thinking that I'm answering all the questions. I realized that it was all Aditi in the background, and she was quietly making her own observations. And she's truly a transformational leader. So she was someone who was like slowly easing us into the session. Along the way, she shared her own personal story. She made us comfortable. She gained our trust because making her, she opened up in such a way that it made us get the trust, made us comfortable, and made us open up. So initial couple of sessions where I was really quiet, the third and fourth session is where I really opened up, and I actually discussed the whole thing on the call. And that is when she let us talk. She would let us keep on going till we actually found the solution to our own problems. And she would just ask a single question, and when it got me thinking as to, she has no idea about what I'm talking about or what my background is or where I'm coming from, but her questions were so sensible, and it made so much sense that it was completely transformational. I mean, she made such powerful statements, and they were so simple, and I used to be wondering, why didn't I think of this before? So that's something that is Aditi for you. I mean, her concepts, her ideas, they've helped me so much in my relationships. She's helped me, given me such such valuable business ideas. So I think the course has completely transformed me. It's been just like 4 days, duration of about 8 to 10 days, but then the thinking that goes into those days, the amount of work that she has done in the background, and patiently went through with us the whole transformation. It's something that I think all women have to try this course. People who have issues with their lives, or people who think that they have absolutely no issues in their life, should go through it. And I think it's going to be completely transformational. So I mean, doing the course, doing the worksheets is one thing, but the live sessions with Aditi is something that shouldn't be missed. So I would be like completely recommending this course to everyone. We have to do this and see the change for ourselves, I guess.
Thanks so much, Anita.
Wow.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Anita.
And I want to just
Thank you.
highlight to everyone that Yukta, Anita, and I, Sumati, all of us that you're hearing from, we attended a mini workshop. It was a capsule edition of the full program that we are talking about today, and that Aditi is offering today as well. So it's amazing that all of us had such huge, I think, revelations and doors opening with just that mini workshop, the capsule edition of the full program. So we went through the 8 core areas, but we didn't go in as deeply as you all would when you take the full program that Aditi is offering today. So I just thank you so much, Anita. Thanks. Okay. Shall we take everyone through? Is everyone ready to experience glimpse of this program themselves. Yeah. Aditi has a really interesting exercise that she would like to take everyone through. If everyone's ready, we'll just go into it.
Yes. All are ready?
Give me some yeses in Telegram. We always like to start with everyone saying yes. All right. We just okay, they're coming in. I'm going to mute myself. Aditi, do you want to take over? And
Yes, ma'am. All right, cool. So what I need everyone to do for this is very simple. Just sit back, relax. And if you're doing anything else, the exercise would be just more effective for you if you weren't engaging your energy in something else. So I want you to all think about an area of your life where you really wish you had courage right now. So we're talking about the courage pillar out of the 8 ones. Um, think about that area of your life where you really wish you had courage. It could be one, two, three areas, depends on how your life is going right now. Um, what would you like to have the courage to create or to generate? Would you like maybe courage to make more money, the courage to be possibly seen and heard, or simply the courage to, just be yourself, be authentically who you are with everybody you meet, and be fearless in the world? Or maybe just a simple thing like the courage to speak up in conversations with people, be able to communicate what you wish. It can be a lot. So let's have some posts coming in. Ruchira, I might need you to come in and help me to,
yeah,
with
of
what
course.
people
Yeah, yeah,
would love to
of
say
course.
about this. So let's see some posts. So, courage comes when you have a certain level of clarity or a certain level of trust and confidence in who you are, um, because you then are able to discern whether what you're choosing is going to take you from a certain place to another place. Is it going to be good for you? Is it for your highest good? Is it going to be able to create what you eventually want to create? And you will have a lot more faith in your abilities to then take it and create something with it. So, for example, if you want to have the courage to speak up, and perhaps you maybe take this program, that what tends to happen is if you're not able to speak up in your family or your friends or your workplace, that you would then be able to have the faith and trust that once upon a time you did communicate, or there are certain areas in your life where you currently do communicate, and then you can tap into that, pull the courage in from there and use it here. So our exercise today is really going to be as simple. But before we get into it, I'd like to see a few more posts. So what are some of the areas? Let's hear them, Ruchira.
People are still typing in. I can see a
Okay.
bunch of names still typing.
Typing.
So we'll just okay. Shilpa says create more money and being more authentic.
Nice.
Rumi says courage to be myself and courage to ask for money for sessions. That's true.
Ah, that's a big one.
That was one that I had raised as well during the program, Aditi, that I still sometimes find myself not being able to ask for the money that I really want for my work.
Yeah.
I do.
So, while people are posting that in, let me just help you out over there. It's really simple. Have you made money a big deal in your life?
I hadn't till I suddenly woke up one day and I'd entered 40s and I realized, oh bloody hell, I don't have savings.
Right. And someone told you that you're supposed to have savings when you're in your
Yes.
40s. But what if
And
you don't want to live that way? What if you want to live like a very bohemian life and you don't
I
really
do.
care about having savings? So why would you put yourself through that stress?
I do lead a bohemian life, but I worry that, oh my God, when I'm old, then what's going to happen?
Yeah, you can go borrow from someone, and then when you're dead, you don't have to return it.
I
Just
can
joking.
see. So see, this is what we mean that Alti makes everything so much more fun to to answer. So the hard questions that she makes fun to answer. Okay, I'm going to take up some more. Um, Cecilia says, courage to start business, fearless and be confident. Pooja says, courage to express my potential through work, create money, and communicate with clarity. Preeti says, courage to buy new house and to create it.
You don't need courage for that. You just need to see a house you'll fall in love with. Trust me, you'll buy it.
That's true. That's true. Uma says, courage to ask anything from family. Asha says, to stand up for myself in all areas of life, whether it's at office or at home.
Mm. These are some really good ones. So I want you all to focus on these, as in keep these aside in your space right now. So I'm going to take you further into the exercise. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So I want to ask you, when you start to focus on all of these areas where you feel that lack of courage, do you not go ahead and have courage for these areas because you are afraid that if you do it, you might lose something else, or you might be judged by a bunch of people if you choose it, or you don't have the courage to do it because you may have some other fear? So just in your own space right now, just make a mental note of what that is. You don't need to share it with everybody. Okay? Just keep a mental note that I don't express myself with people because I have a fear of being judged. And you may actually be right. People actually may be judging you. So that awareness may not be wrong. Okay? So we're not saying whether this is right or wrong here. We're just understanding how we function. That's all. Okay? Now, let's make a switch. I want you to go to 3 places in your life where you already have courage, like so much of it that people actually come and ask you, how do you do that? Like, where do you get the confidence to do it? And you're just like, I don't know, I just do it. You know, those areas where you don't have to think, you don't have to struggle, you're just being yourself, you know, you just go do your thing. And then people ask you how you do it. And you're just like, I don't know. I just do it. That's courage. Okay. Courage isn't like a big roaring lion in your face. It's actually a very, very subtle quality. Cool. So think of 3 areas where you're already being courageous. Okay. You don't need to write it, type it, nothing. Just remember that. And remember who you are in those areas. Remember what it feels like for you. How easy it is to be yourself in those 3 areas. Now, take all that courage and I want you to multiply it. So close your eyes. Just close your eyes for a few moments. Just take all of that courage in those 3 areas of your life and multiply it by 10. Nice. Now multiply it by 100. So what you're doing in effect is you're magnifying it. You're making it bigger. So multiply it by 10 and then 100 and now 1,000 times more. Nice. Because courage is real, it's true, it does get bigger. Now, multiply it 1,000,000 times more. Just allow that courage that you have in those 3 areas of your life, allow it to occupy your entire universe. All of you, all of you, all of your life, your entire body, your entire being. Good. Now, take this courage and look at that area that you're struggling with. The first one we spoke about, the money, can't express myself, can't communicate, can't be myself, can't be authentic. I wish I had, I wish I could. All of those. Take this courage that you just magnified 1,000,000 times and apply it to that area. How does that feel like for you? What could you actually create if you took the courage from the areas where it worked to the areas where it doesn't work. So is it true that you don't have courage? No, that's not true. You do have it. You just don't know where you had hidden it. All we are doing is we are pulling it from places where you had hidden it away and bringing it out into the open. So now you guys can post and let me know what that felt like for you.
That's really amazing. So when you were taking us through, Aditi, I didn't have to really close my eyes. I knew immediately what were the three, what were the areas that I had. I feel that I had courage, and that experience of multiplying it and then applying it was that experience of multiplying it was so amazing, actually, because it makes you feel that okay, it doesn't have to be limited. It starts multiplying, starts expanding, starts spilling over to all the other areas.
Yep.
There is a sense, and then it makes no logical sense why I can't ask for more money, or why I can't do this, or why I can't.
Absolutely. Because you now can't lie to yourself anymore that, oh, I don't have the courage, because you know you do. You just proved it to yourself that you have the courage. It's like, damn, I can't lie to myself. Now what do I do? There is no escape. Help.
That's true. We have someone who's Harman. He's just shared he's 19.
Okay.
And still trying to figure out what to do with my study and career and things like that. He says, I need courage to make the decision which would be right by me and for my highest good.
Mm-hmm.
So he had shared this just when we had already begun the exercise, so I didn't want to interrupt you.
Okay.
He had shared this. I hope, Harman, you could sense, you could feel that courage that you've displayed in other areas of your life. And I hope you could experience how that expansion helps. Do share on the group. So while everyone shares that, I also want to hear from Shalini, if Shalini's, because I know Shalini's been through, yeah. And I wanted to hear how these core areas are playing out for her. What is her experience like? Shalini, I've just put in a request to unmute you. Okay. There we go. Hi, Shalini, can you hear us? I can see you're unmuted. There you are. Shalini, we can't hear you yet. I do love the quotes that you have. The mark of a wild heart is living out the paradox of love in our lives. It's the ability to be tough and tender, excited and scared, brave and afraid, all in the same moment. Shalini, can you hear us now? I'm afraid we can't hear you yet. Okay, while Shalini comes back in, Preeti's shared felt vibrations coming out from my solar plexus while I multiplied hundreds by hundreds and thousands. Asha says, initially felt a lot of vibrations in my body, especially in my palms. Felt very happy while multiplying and feel more powerful and relaxed now. That's really wonderful, Asha.
That's awesome.
What would be Shalini, I'm afraid we still can't hear you. Let me try and unmute you again. Okay. I put in a request again. So I can see your windows highlighted, but I can't hear you. Ah, there we go. I hear ambient sound.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, yes,
Okay,
fantastic.
thank God. I was hoping that I have the courage to sustain this gap that's coming through. So, all right, good evening, everyone. And it's been a pleasure as well as enlightening, as always, to be in the company of Aditi. While she remains one of my closest friends, she has been my companion and partner, in my life, if I may say that, with everything that I've been going for last few years. So I think it's great that I get this platform today to go ahead and share some intimate experience. It's very difficult to pick one, but I'm going to try my best. So my engagement with Aditi has been through conversation and coaching path that I took with her. It was an individual journey, and I'm glad I did that. But I'm really excited when I'm hearing about the outcomes and experiences of everybody who has been in this program as well. And I'm intrigued. What does it entail? But coming back to mine. The coaching program that I embarked on, initially, I remember that I spoke to her about my relationship problems, where I would have conflicts with people. And, I was going through a loss of employment at that time. And, various stuff were also coming in. And, how you sometimes collect so many issues, when you're going through a certain aspect of your life, which is just completely changed than what you imagined it to be. So I had a loss of employment, and I started looking at life very differently. So I'm myself a coach, but I also realized that I think we all require support at all point of time, and I'm glad somewhere through a conversation with her, I realized that I need not just one session but a continuous journey, which helps me look through certain aspects that remain invisible. And I think everybody has been talking about a humor, but I must say that I just want to add another thing is that she's very vulnerable, she's very honest, and she's very straightforward. So while she keeps bringing humor as one of her quality, she has this intent and constant awareness when she's making those notes, those subtle hints, when you're talking in the sentences, what are those words that you're not speaking but you're actually living in your life. So she has this ability to see through conversations. And so I think when I went to her for this relationship problem, so many other aspects of my life started unfolding, in the area of my health, which it also meant money issues that were coming up, which I was hiding. Something else that really was unhidden or hidden for me was harmony with my own self. So Aditi always speaks about inward to outward journey. And it was impossible for me to, go ahead and manage my own struggle and just come in terms with the articulation that, okay, what do I do next? That's when, my connection with her brought through an energy. It's like, she just did this exercise about courage. We've done multiple immersions like this. And that's when, the discovery started happening for me. Well, it didn't stop there because I think beyond exercise and question was reinstatement. So she also gives a recipe to sustain, okay, and that recipe also has to come with your own buy-in. So with the deep work that we did, gradually and pleasantly, it started becoming a second nature for me, where I realized that I can also look at other options in my life in terms of employment. So as I speak, I also have my coaching practice. I'm a yoga practitioner. And these were some of the things that I was living parallelly, as in my journey so far. What it did to me was that I got more courage. I came in terms with life with better and open outlook than where I was. So I started appreciating, other nuances in my life that existed but remained invisible. And some of these things were, words to me. But what happened with this exercise or this engagement that I did with her, they started becoming a part of my energy. So I think that's where I must give credit to her that, I really appreciate what she has brought to my life. And yeah, that's where I am. And thank you, Aditi. I remain in tremendous gratitude to what you have brought to my life. And as I said, I'm excited. I want to see what this program is all about. So I'm curious. I remain curious.
Thank you so much, Shalini. I really have no words. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you so much for this.
Thank you so much, Shalini. Thank you for sharing that. These are really incredible and inspiring stories, Aditi. And I think there are so many things that are common amongst women that we struggle with. I'd like to just take on one. There's another very interesting experience that I wanted Disha to share. I think if Disha's Disha, I've put in a request to unmute you.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, yes, we can.
Hi, Rushira. Hi, Aditi.
Hi.
Okay, first of all, it's not just Aditi's coaching, but I am in huge awe of what her personality is, the kind of vibes that she gives across when you meet her. So when I met Aditi about like 6 years ago, and I was going through a very dark phase of my life where it was difficult for me to trust anyone. Okay, and I would not just trust anyone in my immediate family and around people around me because the circumstances were as such. So before marriage, I was into investment banking. I was quite successful in my career. And after marriage, I had to quit everything up and I started up with my husband in his business. So when I met Aditi, it was the time that I had literally hit rock bottom where I was really horrified of people around me. I was scared of a lot of things which probably did not exist, but they just existed in my head and they would just play around in my head. But it was her who helped me out, see what is the right thing. A lot of practices, a lot of tips that she shared that really helped me to come out of what place I was in. She also helped me realize that the new phase, the new chapter which was starting in my life was for the right, was for really good, because I just kept on assuming that if I continue working with my husband, I might not just be able to do something of my own. But it was her who really pushed me to find out what really gives the purpose to my life, what really excites me. I used to enjoy helping out people. I like, if in case anyone was going for an interview, I would help them out. How would you dress for an interview? How would you appear for an interview? But I would never thought of that as a career of my own. But coming in touch with Aditi was a time that she really pushed me, like, go swim in the sea and see what happens.
Disha, it's just gone on mute. Just 1 second. Let me put in a request to unmute you again. Yeah, there you go.
Sorry, I got disconnected. I just need to know, until where did you hear me? I was just blabbering.
Oh, just when you were talking about direction.
Yeah, so a lot of direction, not a lot of, it was a lot of support that I got from her. She just pushed me out in the sea, like, go swim and see what excites you. What is the kind of career that you would like to make it for yourself? Because what I was doing at that point of time is I was just being a support pillar for my husband. But I had a lack of identity for myself. She pushed me out as like, this is something which excites you. Why don't you go ahead and do that? Even during this particular lockdown period, it was a phase that, everyone had this marital problem. You're living in the same house 24/7. You have nowhere to go. You have no other escape space. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Disha, can you hear us? Okay, now we can't hear you.
When she was talking about the part where you can't, you're living in the same house, and I'm like, you can't escape the husband. Or you can't escape the spouse. Oh my God, that was like an interesting one last year. I had to use a lot of my relationship tools at that time.
Yeah, I'm sure. Like, I think for everyone, it was for the first time. I think everybody was locked in with their families in that manner, and not having having to share space all the time. Disha, I think she's gotten disconnected.
Yeah, I
See
think,
her.
yeah.
Okay, why don't we share in the meantime, why don't we share a little bit more the details of the program with everyone? And we're, I think, running short on time.
Yes, we are.
And just share my screen so we can take, and if Disha comes back, we'll hear the rest of our experience. Okay. Just give me a moment. There we go. Let's expand this out. So I know you have two aspects of this program. Aditi, there's Feminine Awakening. Could you take us?
Yeah, so Feminine Awakening will be 8 video-based calls of about 90 minutes each. Video-based meaning they will be live, like this one, where you get to interact with each other. And there will be 2 calls per week for a period of 4 weeks. So that's every Tuesday and every Friday. And each of these master classes will cover one of the 8 areas that we've spoken about today in detail. You will have tools, worksheets, life hacks, resources, and reflection practices that actually save you a tremendous amount of time if you tried all of this on your own throughout your life. So it's almost like I've taken everything that you would struggle against and I've put it all into 1 month for you. But it doesn't stop there for you. The journey doesn't stop. It's actually the beginning of so much more for you. So I've tried to pack in as much as I can without making it cumbersome or difficult. Also recognizing that a lot of people work. So it's it's a bit of your weekend time that you're going to have to dedicate to this, maybe an hour max, and you get to work on yourself. So you also get question and answer time with me, and all the calls are downloadable replays, which you can have. I also give you a bonus manifestation meditation by the end of the program, at the end of the 4 weeks. And you also have a WhatsApp support group throughout the whole month of the program, plus 1 month after the program. So this starts on the 10th of August. Right, Ruchira? We're on the 10th of August. Yeah. Okay. And for this, can you move to the next one? Yeah, there we are. Let's move to the next one and we'll come back to this. Yeah, there we go. So these are the 8 group calls, each 90 minutes: courage, well-being, life purpose, awakening, relationships, creativity, abundance, and success. Let's get some more information up. The usual price for this that I offer, if you're not with Mystic Lotus, is that it is 49,000 or US dollars 768. But for this specific time period, we do have a special pricing, which I can talk about. Let's go to the next. Okay. So for a period of 24 hours, we're giving you a astounding 69% off. And the special pricing that will now be available for you will be at 15,000 rupees, or that's US dollars 236. So this is for the entire month of August for all 8 calls. Yeah, so this is program A.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's really, really amazing.
Yeah.
I know what we did in that mini workshop. I can't imagine what gets accomplished in the full program.
Yeah. So yeah.
Sorry, Aditi, I just wanted to quickly mention, do you want to tell everyone a little bit about the Awakening Codes?
Yes, I was about to get to that. So there's also a bonus program which will be held on the 6th of August. It's a 2-hour program, and this is known as the Feminine Awakening Codes. So the codes are basically a replacement for a lot of the core belief systems that we have as women. So these are the 15 typical core belief systems that almost every woman has in her life, which is what becomes the limitation or the stumbling block that doesn't allow her to create what she'd love to create. So I am not enough. I am alone. I don't belong, I am not safe, I am different, I am too much, I have no freedom, I don't matter, I am worthless, I am bad, I am wrong, I have nothing to offer, I am a burden, I'm useless, and I'm inferior. So, if you resonate with any or all of these, then this class is definitely for you, because what we're going to be doing is we're going to open these up for you to see how far and how deep do these play in your life. And you will then replace these with statements that are actually true for you. So these are power codes or feminine awakening codes that I will be giving you, which will replace these core beliefs, 15 core beliefs that you have. So this is program B, which is, like I said, it's for 2 hours on the 6th of August, and it'll be an evening video based class just like this one. So let's pull up what the pricing for this is, Ruchira. So the usual price for this is, if you're not on today's call and not on Mystic Lotus, it's usually 5,000 rupees or $79. But we have a special pricing for you for this 2 hour class for a period of 24 hours. This class will be available for you for 3,999 rupees or USD 64. Now, here's an interesting bonus we have for you. If you take both together, I have also thrown in a bonus 20-minute free one-on-one session that you can do with me personally, completely free of charge. That is, you have to take program A and program B together. So what all do you cover in this workshop?
Sorry, I'll just
Sorry.
bring it back.
So what are the benefits of being in this workshop? What can you see that will happen? You become visible, you become seen as the most powerful version of yourself. You start to create deeply intimate, loving relationships that reflect and mirror and amplify the greatness of you that is now emerging thanks to this program. You will also understand what are your unique gifts and talents and abilities, and you can start to harness that and use it to contribute and inspire other people and create an impact in the world. You start to have ease with abundance and prosperity, and you start to thrive as a self actualized, powerful woman who is aligned to her values. You also have the capacity to then manifest your deepest desires, not for any other reason, but simply because now you can. And now it's easy for you to do it. Now that you've tapped into who you are, it's very easy for you to do it at any point of time because you now have an unshakable connection with yourself. And you are finally led by your deepest feminine intuition. You become more radiant, you have more vitality, and you become much healthier as a human being.
So I just want to take everyone through. Okay, you have a
Yeah.
personal.
So for those who are also interested, there's a special pricing for you. If you'd like to have a 1 hour personal session with me, which is usually charged at 6,500 rupees or 102 USD. For you, there's a special pricing of 3,500 for an hour or US dollars 55. And this again is valid only for 24 hours for you to book in. You go now.
Fantastic. This is fantastic. I'm trying to pick, saying, okay, what all do I want to do? All right. So I just want to take everyone through the first offer, especially because that's a really, really comprehensive offer that Aditi's put out today. That's program A. The link for this is on Telegram as well as on WhatsApp. So that's 8 group calls of 90 minutes each. You're going to get to work on those 8 areas of your life. Plus, the bonus is that you have the feminine awakening codes call, that's package B, that's built in as a bonus. You're not paying anything extra for that. You have the full 1 month support. And over and above that, you also have a 20-minute personal session with Aditi. So whatever comes up, whatever comes through this entire program, you can discuss that a little bit further, understand where you want to take all that awareness and those shifts that you've experienced as a result of the program, where and how you can take it forward. The offer is of course only valid for 24 hours. It's 15,000 rupees or $236. That's it. It's an amazing offer because getting to work with Aditi at this price point, in this amazingly comprehensive way is rare. So thank you so much, Aditi, for like creating such a generous offer. So that's program A. And of course, program B is the Feminine Awakening course, the one that's part of as a bonus of program A. You can also do it just by itself. It's a 2-hour call, and I think all of us can pick at least 5 or 6 of these that we can resonate with in some areas of our life or the other, at some point or the other. And this is offering this today instead of the usual price, which is $5,079. She's offering it today at just $3,999. That's just $64. It's fantastic. It's such great value for the amount of time and the change and the amount of guidance that you receive from Aditi on this is going to be awesome. So links for booking both programs are on Telegram as well as Zoom chat. You can just quickly click through. There's also, I think, EMI facility for the main programs which you can explore. If you have any questions regarding the workshop, you can post those on Telegram. In fact, I'm just going to quickly check if there are any questions. And I will just raise them. If there's anything else that you think about even later, you can post the question on Telegram. Aditi is going to be around to answer those questions.
Yeah.
So again, the short, quick program is Awakening Codes, which is 2 hours, 1 call, and that's $3,999 or $64. The big group program is Feminine Awakening, which is 8 group calls, 90 minutes each, spread over different days. And plus it has the Feminine Awakening Codes program and the 20-minute personal session with Aditi, as well as, of course, the 1-month support. I know that Aditi still goes. It's been, I think, some weeks since we did the mini workshop, and I love how everyone still is, sharing over there.
That's true.
So, okay, we'll just quickly take everyone through the dates again. Tuesdays and Fridays at 6:30 India time or 8 a.m. Central time in the US. The dates are, of course, August 10th, 13th, 17th, 20th, 24th, 27th, 31st, and we'll close on September 3rd. The Awakening Codes program will be on 6th at 6:30 p.m. IST. So all calls are quite convenient. Thank you so much, Aditi.
Thank you, Ruchira.
My screen. So any questions regarding the workshop, any questions on the program, do share with us on the Telegram group. Aditi's around to answer those.
Yes.
Aditi, do you want to leave everyone with something?
I think what I want to really say is that this is an exciting time that we live in. I don't know if many of you have noticed, I'm sure you've noticed that a lot more women are awakening around the world, including something like, this is probably the largest women's sports contingent from India that has gone to the Olympics in Japan. So more and more women are stepping into their power. There are more women who are awakening. And I really don't see any reason why you should be left behind in that. You have it in you like a lot of other women do. And I can't wait to see you shine, each one of you. I mean, this is like my life's work. It's one of the most exciting things for me to do. And I can't wait to be there to support you. I look forward to being with you and supporting you. And thank you so much for sharing this platform today.
Thank you so much, Aditi. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. And we look forward to any questions you might have in the group. And we'll see you soon again. Yeah. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.